Hey guys, it's Eric and I'm back here today to talk about the 10 things you need to be doing to prepare for this upcoming deer season. But before we get into that, if you haven't already, please like this video, please subscribe to our channel, and for those who've already done so, we thank you very much and appreciate the support. Okay, this video is dropping in early September, so it might be a little last minute for some people in states like Maryland, Kentucky, but for the most part, most people are starting mid-September, late September, and October. So I want to give my top 10 things you can do to prepare for deer season. First thing on the list, I do have a list because I can't remember everything. But number one is, if you haven't already been doing it, shoot your bow or your crossbow. Get shooting, get good reps in. You know, I've been shooting a couple times a week since July, so I'm feeling pretty good and pretty much right where I need to be. And you know, make sure your broadhead's fly straight. I'm working through that process now. You'll see a video on that here in the coming weeks, maybe the coming days. So make sure your broadheads are flying well. Even if it's expandable, make sure that mechanical is flying good. Most of them fly field points, but always check to be sure. Fixed blades, absolutely got to check. So basically, number one on this list is shoot your archery weapon of choice and make sure your broadheads are flying well and your bow's tuned. Number two on this list, get those last minute cell cameras out now. And the reason I say now is because the closer we get to season, the more and more crucial intrusions in your hunting area, whether it's private or public, become. I'm recording this video, it's like middle of August right now. I'm putting my last one out tomorrow morning before church. And then I'm done. I'll have 24 out, I'll be good to go. So, you know, in my upcoming video about my outlook, I'll talk about that a little more. But get those cell cameras out ASAP if you haven't already, or any that you need to get out. Number three on this list, plan your last card pull for your standard SD card cameras before season. Again, with intrusions, it's, you know, the closer season you get with your intrusions, the more crucial it is. Unless you're on like a field edge or something going middle of the day, you can maybe get away with doing a lot more. But if you're talking about a core area outside of bedding or a staging area, or even a transition from food to bedding, the less intrusions, the better. So, number three on this list, check your SD card cameras before season. I personally like to do it about 2 to 3 weeks before opening day. Let that area calm down and see if I'm going to be hunting there first week or if I'm going to wait until the run for that spot. So, number four on this list, and this is not just for trophy hunters. This is for whatever your trophy standards are. Start making your hit list. Now, you might say to me, I don't care what I shoot. I don't care if it's, you know, a one-horn spike in my state or 3 points on one side here in Pennsylvania. I'll shoot any legal deer. Well, great. Even if you're in that boat, start seeing what deer are moving in areas. If you have a small buck that you're interested in shooting, moving consistently, you know, put that on your hit list. If you have a doe family group coming in, it's going to be easy meat to fill the freezer. Put that on the list. Of course, if you have a little higher trophy standards, you have certain bucks that you do want to shoot, you know, start getting lists together, like, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4 in order of how you'd like to shoot them, and, you know, hunt accordingly. Now, if you want to go for broke and go for one, like I've done the last couple years, you can do that, or you can, you know, have a cut like 3 or 4 in 3 different areas and say, hey, you know, when the wind's blowing this way, I'll go here, or this phase of season, I'll hunt this buck, and whichever one gives me the opportunity first, I'll shoot. It's all up to you. Your standards are all up to you, but get that hit list together. So that's important. Number 5 on this list, if you haven't already, get your private land tree stands up ASAP. For me personally, on private land, I leave my stands up all year. I just check the straps and change them every couple years as needed, sometimes every year if needed. Make sure they're tight. To me, I don't see any point of taking them down, putting them up. Yeah, you get longer life out of the stand, but is it really worth all that extra time you're putting in year in and year out? So, number 5 on this list, get your private land stands up. Number 6 on this list, and this will vary state to state because of the laws, get your public land stands up as soon as you're legally allowed. Here in Pennsylvania, we can do it 2 weeks before opening day. So whenever I do hang stands on public land, I'm out that 2 Saturdays before, first thing in the morning. Maybe not first thing in the morning, but mid-morning after most deer are back to bed. Quietly get that stand in, get out of there. Just give that, especially in public land, give that area some time to settle down. If you have multiple stands, you know, take maybe that Saturday, Sunday, get them all up, as many as you're planning on hanging. And if you hunt mobile, you don't have to worry about this one. But number 6 on this list, get the public land stands up as soon as you legally can. Number 7 on this list. This is an important one. You know, I have multiple new properties I was fortunate enough to pick up for the season. Other people have as well. Or maybe a new public spot you think is going to be good. Number 7 on this list, figure out your access and entries, or I'm sorry, your entry and your exits for new hunting spots. You know, it's easy enough to say, oh, you know, I walked in this spot and go this way. Well, if your camera's telling you deer are coming from that way in the morning or coming from that way in the evening, you're going to blow out deer going in. Or, you know, if it's telling you, hey, they're leaving this way, you know, in the evening, or this is their feeding area, you don't want to exit through the feeding area. So figure out what way those deer are moving. Figure out the best, most quiet access you can get in without, you know, blowing out a bedding area going in the evening or blowing out a feeding area going in the morning. So, which could also mean maybe that spot is only morning or only evening. If it, you know, if it's an oak flat or some type of secluded apple tree on public land, or obviously a food plot on private land, that's an evening spot. If it's an area outside of bedding, it could go both ways. You know, if you're hunting there in the morning, you're going to want to get in there stupid early, probably be set an hour and a half before daylight. And if you're getting there in the evening, you're going to go through whatever area the deer are heading to feed, to get in there and slip out the back door. So, number 7 on this list, find your entries and exits for new areas that you hadn't hunted prior to the season. Number 8 on this list, go over your gear. Whether it's clothing, you know, did you gain a couple pounds? Did you lose a couple pounds? You know, you don't want your clothing too tight to where, you know, you can barely put it on. And you don't want too baggy and loose where it's hitting your bowstring when you're shooting if you've lost some weight. So go over your clothing, go over your gear. You know, make sure your bowstring's in good shape if your bow's not brand new. Go over your pack, go over your stand. Make sure, you know, if you're using a climber, make sure your cables are good. Like I mentioned earlier, with your private land stands, make sure your ratchet straps are good, your stands and your ladder hang-on stands are good condition. Just go over everything. Big safety thing, but also just performance. You know, you don't want to get up there and realize that your stand's creaking, or your bows, you need a new bowstring, something like that. So number 8 on this list, go over your gear before season, make sure everything's working well. Now, number 9 kind of goes hand in hand with number 8 on this list, and that is familiarize yourself with whatever new gear you're using. You know, if you've hunted for years with a climbing tree stand, and you decide, hey, I want to take that leap of faith and get a saddle, you better get your butt up in that tree at least once a week and learn how to climb with sticks, learn how to climb with an aider. You know, stand on your platform, see how to move, practice shooting from it. You don't want to, you know, get up there and realize, oh crap, I can't draw around my bridge. You know, whatever. If you're going from climber to hanging hunt, you know, again, practice with, you know, climbing with those sticks and hanging that stand in a timely, quiet manner. You don't want to be fumbling around your first time out on, you know, public land doing that. You know, if you're switching from compound to crossbow because you have a bad shoulder, because you don't have time to practice, whatever your reason, you know, as much easier as a crossbow is, it's different. You know, you have to learn your cranking up and how to let your bow down if you can crank it down. Just familiar how it works, you know, how the mechanism works, all that stuff. So number 9 on my list, familiarize yourself with your new gear. And number 10 on this list, this is something I take care of every year the first week of January because I am a deer hunting junkie. But if you're a little behind on this, get your vacation time in ASAP as soon as you see this video. You know, if you hunt with someone in your department, whatever your career field is, who does hunt, and probably has a time when you're kind of SOL, but if you hunt in a department where you're the only deer hunter, you're probably okay. Because not a lot of people are taking off for the fall other than maybe, you know, the October lull, middle of October for like a fall foliage deal or something like that. Make sure, you know, see when you want to hunt, you know, see if you're on you're on a good farm or something that has, you can get on an early season pattern, but it's maybe an hour away. You might have to take off the whole first week of archery, but you know, if you do that, you get a crack at the deer early season. Or conversely, if you're hunting big woods like me, you might want to hunt a few days in the early season, but you're really going to want to hunt that pre-rut time in the mountain country. And you're going to want to get off there depending on, you know, whatever. If you have flexibility at work where you can kind of just use a personal day, like I do have one personal day I can use, and every year that usually gets used for a day or two before cold front's hitting. So look at that, get all your time in, figure out when the prime times to hunt whatever area you're hunting are, and prepare for the season. So this is Eric coming to you with my 10 things to do right before deer season to get ready for deer season. If you have any questions, did I miss any? Drop a comment, let me know. And thanks for watching the video.